There exists a war machine so enigmatic and so far ahead of its time that even the most advanced military powers still struggle to match its capabilities. A bomber that can cross oceans undetected, strike the heart of an enemy's defenses with absolute precision, and disappear back into the darkness before radar systems even realize it was there. This is the B-2 Spirit, America's invisible giant, a weapon designed not simply to destroy, but to reshape the very idea of air power. Its story is not just about engineering brilliance, it is about fear, ambition, geopolitics, and the race to dominate a future where visibility itself becomes a vulnerability. But before we dive deeper into the secrets behind this invisible war machine, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the explosive stories we have coming about the world's most advanced military aircraft. The origins of the B-2 lie deep within the final tense years of the Cold War, a period when the Soviet Union built one of the most sophisticated air defense networks ever imagined. Traditional bombers, no matter how fast or how high they flew, reflected radar signals like floating beacons across the sky. American strategists understood that in a nuclear conflict, these aircraft simply would not survive long enough to deliver a retaliatory strike. The United States needed something drastically different, something the Soviet radar grid could not see. And so, hidden behind the doors of highly classified black programs, engineers from Northrop and the U.S. Air Force began exploring a radical concept, a bomber that would use geometry, material science, and cutting-edge digital control systems to become nearly invisible. For years, even Congress knew only fragments of what was being built with billions of dollars in hidden allocations. Out of this secrecy emerged the B-2 Spirit, a flying wing aircraft unlike anything that had been produced before. Stealth is far more than a coating or a shape. It is a philosophy of design. The B-2's seamless flying wing structure exists to scatter radar energy in every possible direction except back toward the transmitter. With no vertical tail, no exposed engines, and no sharp edges, radar waves glide over its skin like water over stone. Its surface is covered in specialized radar-absorbing materials that transform electromagnetic energy into harmless heat. Even the engine exhaust is cooled and concealed within long, shallow ducts to reduce infrared detection. Every element, from the curve of the leading edge to the internal positioning of the fuel tanks, was engineered to minimize visibility. The B-2's stealth is not one secret. It is thousands of secrets working together. Many of these details remain classified even today, decades after its introduction, because revealing them would risk exposing the aircraft's greatest advantage, the ability to operate in the most heavily defended airspace on Earth without being detected. While its shape gives it stealth, that same shape makes the B-2 fundamentally unstable in flight. A traditional tail would provide balance and directional control, but such a structure would also reflect radar. Engineers were forced to choose stability or invisibility. They chose invisibility and relied on advanced computers to compensate. The B-2 cannot fly without its digital nervous system, 4 independent flight control computers make constant adjustments, sometimes hundreds of times per second, to keep the aircraft level and responsive. Human hands alone cannot manage these corrections. The result is an aircraft that seems to glide effortlessly through the air, despite the constant, invisible choreography happening behind the scenes. In many ways, the B-2 was one of the earliest examples of a truly computer-dependent combat aircraft, laying the foundation for later fifth-generation fighters. No other bomber in history was designed to fly such extraordinary distances. Missions lasting 30 to 44 hours became routine for B-2 crews, who often took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, flew to distant combat zones, released their weapons with near-perfect accuracy, and returned home without ever landing. These missions required multiple in-air refuelings, intense mission planning, and a level of endurance that tested both physical and psychological limits. Pilots develop strategies to manage exhaustion, share responsibilities, stretch, eat, and even sleep in brief rotations, all while cruising across continents in one of the most classified aircraft ever built. The B-2's range and endurance fundamentally expanded America's ability to project power globally without relying on overseas air bases. Stealth alone is not what makes the B-2 terrifying. It is the combination of stealth and overwhelming firepower. The aircraft can carry a wide array of weapons, from conventional JDAM precision-guided bombs to nuclear gravity weapons such as the B-61 and B-83. Its ability to approach a target without detection enables it to destroy hardened bunkers, strategic command facilities, missile sites, and critical infrastructure in the earliest minutes of a conflict. Among its most powerful weapons is the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator capable of striking targets buried deep underground. In military strategy, the B-2 is often considered the opening move of a major war, the silent fist that eliminates an enemy's eyes, ears, and command authority before they can respond. The B-2's combat debut took place in 1999 during Operation Allied Force in Kosovo, where it delivered a third of all U.S. precision weapons in the opening phase, despite representing a tiny fraction of the deployed aircraft. The fact that it could launch from the United States, strike well-defended targets in Europe, and return home in a single mission stunned military analysts around the world. Its accuracy was extraordinary. Its survivability seemed absolute. Four years later, during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, B-2s again played a central role by striking critical leadership and communication bunkers. In Afghanistan, the aircraft's long-range capability was pushed even further when it conducted combat sorties lasting more than 40 hours, still among the longest armed missions ever flown. These real-world operations confirmed what engineers and strategists had predicted. The B-2 Spirit could reach any target on the planet, no matter how protected. With all this power comes an extraordinary price. The B-2 is the most expensive aircraft ever built, costing over $2.13 billion per unit. its maintenance demands are equally staggering. Specialized climate-controlled hangars are required to preserve the delicate stealth coating, and teams of technicians must carefully inspect and repair the aircraft after each mission. Much of the maintenance process is classified. Only select personnel are authorized to work on specific components. This complexity contributed to the decision to end production after only 21 aircraft were built, leaving the U.S. Air Force with a precious but limited fleet of stealth bombers. Despite this small number, no nation has yet produced a bomber that rivals the B-2. Russia's PAKDA and China's H-20 are often cited as potential competitors, but both remain in development and neither has demonstrated operational stealth capability. The truth is that the B-2's combination of range, stealth, precision, and nuclear readiness still places it in a category of its own. It is not just a bomber. It is a strategic instrument designed to alter the calculus of global power. Yet the future is approaching. The United States is preparing to introduce the B-21 Raider, a next-generation stealth bomber that will incorporate new materials, improved autonomy, and enhanced survivability against modern air defense systems. Still, the B-2 will remain in service for years to come, benefiting from continuous upgrades and advanced weapon integration. Even as technologies evolve, the Spirit continues to embody a unique era of aviation ingenuity. In the end, the B-2 Spirit represents the moment when invisibility became the ultimate battlefield advantage. It is a machine designed not just to fight wars, but to prevent them, to impose deterrence by silently existing above the horizon, ready to act without warning. Its shape is a symbol of American engineering. Its missions have shaped modern warfare, and its legacy will endure long after the last Spirit is retired. The B-2 is not merely an aircraft, it is a ghost, a legend, and one of the most formidable expressions of power ever to take to the sky. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the B-2 Spirit and want more high-impact aviation documentaries, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring you more untold stories, rare insights, and powerful military history from around the world.